Today I'm going to tell you all a story about how the seawater became salty. This story is from the book Stories of Wit and Magic written by Sudha Murthy. And the story goes like this. Long, long ago, the seawater was very sweet and it was drinkable. And how it became salty is a remarkable story here. There were two brothers. They were Sridhar and Keshav. Keshav was married to Leela, and Sridhar stayed with Keshav and Leela. Keshav was very kind and he was quiet, whereas Leela was very mean and selfish. She resented Sridhar staying with them, so she would always give him more work and less food and ill treat him. Keshav was not bold enough to talk back to his wife, not to ill treat his brother, so he was just watching them. One day, Leela, she yelled at Sridhar and she said, "There's no firewood at home. Go bring it from the forest immediately," she said. And Sridhar has to obey. So he went to the forest. And when he came home, it was late in the evening. And again, she started yelling, "Is this the time to come home? It's very late. And how will I cook? And by the way, where is the axe?" she asked. Only then Sridhar realized that yes, forgotten to bring the axe back home. So she said, "You cannot enter the house without the axe. Go and get it immediately," she said. So Sridhar has to go back to the forest and he was searching and searching for the axe and he couldn't find out. Suddenly, there was a heavy rain. So he had to go and stay for somewhere. So he was looking all around and he saw the flickering of a light from a distance. So he moved towards it. And when he went near, he found it was a cave and the light was from the fire burning inside the cave. So he went inside the cave and he saw his axe lying there. He was very surprised, and only then he noticed that there appeared small dwarfs who were there joining hands and dancing merrily. He noticed them and they were singing and dancing like, "Hi ho, here we are dancing merrily and merrily. Here we go, here we go." And they were dancing to and fro. And an old dwarf came there and asked Sridhar, "Why don't you join us now dance?" And Sridhar didn't know what to do, so he sat down quietly and he saw the fire was about to put off. So he chopped some firewood and he lit the fire so that it could be burning. And the dwarfs were enjoying and dancing. And it was dawn. Then a dwarf came from there and he said, "You have helped us all through the night and let the fire burn all through the night. So I want to give you a gift," he said. And he said, "I'm going to give you a gift." And he gifted him with a fan like this. It was a fan like this, an ordinary fan. So he said, "This is a fan, and when you desire about something you want, you can just wave it and you get all you desire. And when it is when you've got enough, you have to say enough, enough, and enough, and all the things will stop. Then whenever you desire, you can again ask for more," said the dwarf. And Sridhar was very happy and he was just very happy to get this fan. So he thought he would try the fan immediately. And he said, he just waved the fan and said, "Get me hot meals." And hot meals started dropping from the sky and he had enough and he said, "Enough, enough, enough." And the food stopped coming from the sky. So he just ate it very heartily. He had a hearty meal, and he thought about what next he would do. And he decided not to go back to his brother's house because he was ill treated there. So he went to the nearby city, which was very beautiful near the sea. He built a house there and made money and lived there happily. Leela and Keshav, they heard about this, and they came to meet him. And uh, as Leela is very greedy, she just whispered to his husband that go and ask him how he became rich. Let's know about it now itself. So Keshav went to Sridhar and asked his brother how he became very rich. Sridhar said, I went and I was there in the cave, and I helped the dwarfs, and they gave me a magic fan. So whatever I desire, I got it. And he said, when I had enough, Keshav had no patience to hear more. He ran immediately from there. He said, oh, it's all good. God bless you. And he ran from there to Leela to tell about the story. And Leela decided to steal the fan from Sridhar. So that night when Sridhar was asleep, Keshav and Leela stole some valuables from Sridhar's house and also the fan. And Leela said, why don't we run away from this place to some other place and live happily with this fan? Okay, they decided, and they went and they boarded a ship. There, the captain of the ship asked them from where they came. And Leela lied to them that my husband is a salt merchant, and we're going to sell salt to different countries. And we have bags of salt with them, she said. And next morning, when the captain of the ship was just the cook of the ship came to the captain and said that they have forgotten bags of salt, and they've left it in the harbor, and they are in need of salt. So the captain went to he remembered Keshav had salt, and he went to them and asked them, Keshav and Leela, for the salt bag. Since they have lied, they have to do some magic with with the fan they had. So Leela just moved to the corner of the ship, and she said, oh, give us salt. She just waved the fan and she asked, give us salt. So immediately bags of salt fell from the sky. And since Keshav didn't hear the secret word to stop the fan from giving the things, they didn't know how to stop. So they shouted when the ship was full of salt bags. They started shouting, stop, halt, discontinue. But they never knew the word, uh, original word that what Keshav, because before Sridhar told, Keshav ran away from him. So enough is the keyword, and they forgot that. So now it started pouring down bags of salt, and the ship had to sink. They all died, and the rain of salt bags were pouring down from sky for years together. And only when the dwarfs knew about it, they stopped it with their magic trick. And before then, the sea was full of salt, and so it is salty till now. So the story goes like this. So we have to drink very salty water.